All right. Good evening, everybody. I am back. Had a bit of a break, 2, 3 weeks, I think, just for the New Year's. But I'm recharged, back again. So going to do a lot more streams, a lot more videos again. So yeah, stay tuned for that. For now, let's start the new year with the live stream. And the best thing to do is, of course, do a market update because a lot happened. And let's take a look at the charts, see what happens, and I will give you some of my predictions of where we're heading this year, 2026, and yeah, where to look at. So we had quite an explosive move in the beginning of the year. So that was interesting to see. So that brought me back to go over the charts again. So I selected some charts and some very interesting ones. Let's start right away. We have here, we have Bitcoin dominance, a very important one. Um, because this, yeah, determines the dominance, how much money is flowing towards Bitcoin, how much money is flowing towards altcoins. Simply see, I think for most of you, for me at least, you want to see this dropping because, yeah, most people are invested in altcoins. So we want to see, yeah, a drop of this chart. So we're looking at the structure here. And what we're seeing here is we had this top here in June. Then we finally had a real breakdown as we broke down this trend line. And of course, here we had this flush, this massive crypto market flush where some altcoins basically got evaporated. The whole order books were cleaned. Yeah, this was this candle, and you could see this as actual retest of this breakdown here. And so far, so good, because you see we had kind of an upwards move, but now we're starting to break down again. And you can see that as we finally get some relief in the altcoin market. Yeah, but this is just a short-term move. I'm mostly here to look at the longer time frame, and we want to really be looking at what's going to happen this year, 2026. Yeah, so we want to see further breakdown, of course. So this is going to be a very important level, the 75%. Here's where we were in September. And last year we broke a little bit down here. So this is where the action is. You can see there's quite some space in between. So yeah, this is the area I'm watching. There's a good chance we're going to this area and then we're going to see the response here. But so far so good. The structure is this is right now this is a lower high. It means it's likely to have further consolidation downwards. All right, then we have USDT dominance, very important one as well, often overlooked. A lot of people don't look at this chart, while it can be very valuable. So what we see is also quite interesting. We had this at this exact trend line. As you can see, this long-term trend line goes even back to 2022, and since then we haven't retested this area. So here, yeah, we had some more space for the market to grow. And now we see a pullback here in dominance, which is a good thing. So USDT dominance drops. For those that are not aware of this chart, basically means less money in USDT and more money going towards crypto generally. So you can see a very clear technical analysis pattern here. So we want to see further consolidation downwards, back to at least, yeah, retest here. So this was this is a very strong area. This is what we tested in 2024 in December, when we could not break. So this was the last year's bull run, and since then, yeah, it's been going downwards, especially for altcoins. But this is the perfect moment for some relief. If we would have broken here, or if we break here again, that's really not good because this is a very yeah, strong trend line. You go over that, yeah, it doesn't look good, but that's not in my expectations. Right, then let's move to total. I already showed this in December with a market update, and I said it's still holding structure, even though, yeah, the sentiment was horrible. Things looked quite bad, but you can see here it's still holding upward structure. Yeah, what we can see here is this is an important trend line, which you're actually breaking above now, which is very interesting to see. But we're kind of overbought, so I expect some more retracement here. But this is an important level. As you can see, it acted as support quite some time, and now it's becoming resistance, and we're breaking out of here. But so far, we're still following these similar patterns as we've been since the bull run. And this trend line is also still intact. You can also create a downward wedge here. If we do this, here we broke the trend line and we're going upwards again. What also was very interesting to see was it was exactly at New Year's when it switched. And December are usually very bad months. It has to do with also with tax, people getting out of crypto and moving their money around. It's the holidays, institutions usually getting out of the market, so there's less liquidity, and it's very often it's actually a very bad month. So just based on that, it's very interesting that we started here on January 1st. We started the first green candle, and since then it's been quite a nice bounce. But if we look at the long term, total simply looks good. Where we're following the upwards trend here. Let's look at total too. So that's everything besides Bitcoin. So this is more towards the altcoins because we have Ethereum included. And you pretty much see the same thing here. We see here this upward trend line still intact. And you can see here this falling wedge and the breakout. Breakout, retest, and bam, off we go. This pattern simply repeated a lot of times, and we're still in upward support. All looks good. Then we have total tree. So this is everything besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. And we see the same thing here. We see this important trend line. You could draw it in two kind of ways. But what you can see here is that there's not been, on the daily, we're still keeping this trend line. So this was the ideal time. Here we had this retest in this flush, and we did not, hit it again. This was a very important liquidity area that we hit here during this massive flush. And since then, was the sign, okay, now it's going to go down. We saw this actually, if we look here at the altcoins, we broke a very important all-time high because this is the liquidity area even from 2021. As you can see here, we broke it, but then we failed. And actually, a few days afterwards, actually the day we broke below was the massacre already. Then we had quite a retracement, but looking back at it, it was actually the time to get out of here, get out of the market, because all these orders, all these buy orders have been wiped out. They've all been filled. So that means that there's no more new liquidity. It takes a while before this fills up. So the pressure is to the downwards. And that's what we have seen. This was a sign to get out, basically. What a great retracement. After this wipeout, it means also there's not a lot of sell orders. So that's why it's so easy to get back to these levels. But after that, then comes the real, then people feel the pain. People get wiped out and people start selling their positions. So that's what we have seen. But also on total tree, we remain in a bullish structure here. As you can see, this is one of the clearest charts actually that we're in this bullish structure. You see it every time. You see these retracements. This is a type of bull flag, giant bull flag. And once we broke out, we had a massive upward surge. So you see it again and again. And the same thing happened here. And it's been going ever since. So there's a lot of people saying the bull run is over, everything is broken, but we're following the same structure, and you simply see this upward sloping trend line. So I stand by my point that I made a video about it in regards to are we in a 4-year cycle or not. So you can watch this on my channel as well. I made several points where I actually think that there's no such thing as a traditional 4-year cycle. That more has to do with the business cycle, and I think we're actually going further upwards. So time-wise, we should be outside the cycle, but I think, yeah, this is not the case, and we're actually going higher in 2026. And a lot of people, they have the same view. They think like, okay, we have 4-year cycles, going to be the same thing every time, and that means it's time to sell. So that's also what happened, yeah, during this time. Of course, people got out before, but yeah, in my opinion, there's an extension. There's many reasons for it, and you have to watch that other video in regard to that. But I will also show it on the chart here. I have another chart lined up that will show you a reason why this is very likely that, especially for altcoins, that there's going to be quite an interesting bull run here. Then we have Ethereum versus Bitcoin. This is also a very important chart that a lot of people watch because you want to see the sentiment shift towards Ethereum first. So usually it's always money flows into Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a giant move upwards, and then the money starts to flow into Ethereum. Afterwards, of course, it goes to the lower caps and lower altcoins. So what do we see here? So we see a very important trend line. You see this, there's a lot of touches here. So this upward level is very important. So once we start to break there, that's a very good sign. So that's a go signal for altcoins and the altcoin market once we get there. But so far, we are not there yet. But there's a very positive thing is that we have shifted the market structure. Means we are now back in a positive market structure as we went down all the way here. And you can see now we're starting to create higher highs and higher lows again. And this is still intact. So here we had quite some retracement, but this is still intact. So there's a good chance. Here you can see on the smaller time frame that this breakout, this retest, and now Ethereum is gaining a little bit of strength. It's not it's doing a little bit the same as Bitcoin right now, but yeah, things can change very quickly. And the most important thing for Ethereum versus Bitcoin is just to watch this level. How do we respond? Can we break out here? That is very good sign. Simply wait for the retest. And if we retest here and you're not into altcoins, that's a very clear sign that it's go time. All right. So that's a very important chart, actually. I wrote here, I have some notes here written down. And this is also a signal that yeah, lets me to believe that we're actually heading into a bull run for altcoins. So what do we see here? First, I looked at the time frames, and this is a very key level because every time we touched this level, we had a very good upwards move, and they pointed actually towards here the 2017 altcoin season, 2019 DeFi season, 2021 alt season. So this was, of course, yeah, a very big move here, as you can see. And since then, we had the top here. So let's look at the time. We had the top here in January 2022. So that's now 4 years ago. And what's been happening for altcoins versus Bitcoin? We've been going down for 4 years straight. That means you could signal that altcoins are actually have been in a bear market for 4 years against Bitcoin, of course. But still, this is a very interesting yeah, observation that I think a lot of people missing out on because, of course, Bitcoin did massive pump the last 3 years when, yeah, we went from 16K, I believe, all the way up to, yeah, almost 120K. So that's a massive, yeah, massive pump for Bitcoin. And that's why, of course, altcoins had also had its runs. But if you compare it to Bitcoin, it's all been going downhill. So it was very interesting also to see that during this flash, we actually hit this bottom area. And this bottom area, as you can see, every time we hit it, here we had like a double hit, here also a double hit, but here a single one. And it was upward since. So it's very interesting that we have been through that already. So that's another very strong signal to me that basically yeah, this could have been the bottom, and that it's actually now time for altcoins to shine. So people are comparing their altcoins to USDT and the time since Bitcoin has been going up, and they're very quick to determine, okay, now that must mean that yeah, the run must be almost over. The time is over. But when you look at this on an observation mode, you can actually see that altcoins have been in a 4-year downtrend against Bitcoin. So yeah, this is a good one to keep an eye on. Let me go to the other chart. So this is yeah, the altcoins outside the top 10, and we see the same thing here as with the total charts, where we're still holding this upwards support area. So this very key level that's been holding for a few years is still holding. So here again, you see the same thing. You have these downward wedges, as you can see here, and then you have these breakouts again. So this happens a lot of times. Here you have these upward wedges, which almost always break out to the downside, which happened here. And yeah, you see these patterns every time repeating. So for altcoins, the trend remains upwards. All right, let's see. Yeah, this is pretty much the same as the other chart. And then for Bitcoin, let's zoom in a little bit. First, for the longer time frame, yeah, this is very the key level. If we go to the weekly chart, this is also where it went wrong last time. If you do put it at the weekly closes, you can see, yeah, we have not closed 1 week above it. So we have wicked above it. So we got the stops there. People were shorting, grabbed the liquidity, but we have not closed above it at any time. And this was also the sign when we did it again the second week, we went down. And this time we went down, yeah, quite a bit here, as you can see. So that's for Bitcoin. Then I watch a little bit lower time frame, and yeah, look at these liquidity zones simply. Here we have a lower liquidity zone where there's a lot of interest, a lot of buying interest. And here we have a liquidity zone, which you could call it somewhat of a mid-range, somewhere in the middle. If I go to the daily, you can see it more clearly, but there's a lot of interest there. So I expect this to hold quite some resistance. Yeah, but we're not there yet. We're quite far away. This is above 100K. Yeah, 102. That's where it starts to get some interest. So for Bitcoin, yeah, not too interesting. Everything on the lower time frame. Now a bit of retracement, which is logical. We had quite of a pump here, but this is the area. Yeah, this is a very important one to hold for me. If not, then you're going to back to this box. Let me audit. Yeah, then you're likely going back to this box. This is 47K that we very closely hit. So it's the top, the level that we were at 2024. Yeah, so those are the levels to watch for Bitcoin. Nothing too interesting yet. It's more the altcoins that have been shining. So let's dive into the altcoins. Now you have my longer term perspective on the market. Let's dive into some more altcoins. We have Desync here. This is the one I actually missed out on. I was been watching this, but didn't want to rotate. Yeah, it was too late with rotating some money. I was actually, yeah, really wanted to buy this, but actually, yeah, went almost 4x here, which is a good project. But yeah, it's a small cap. And right now I expect some retracement here. Let's see. Another very small cap, which I find interesting. As you can see here, actually went all the way down to retest these levels. And the low caps have been absolutely hammered. It's been crazy downwards. Yeah, this is very painful for a lot of people if you hold a lot of low caps. So that's why it's very important to spread your money if you're in altcoins, that you have a good portfolio. Yeah, with high caps, mid caps, and some low caps. But a lot of people simply their strategy is to get in a lot of low caps. If you get in the wrong time, it's disaster. But you can see these bounces now in the low caps, which is normal. Then Tau is one of my conviction ones for AI backs. We can see here starting to get some resistance, and we're also starting to retrace here now. Quite a good move. Again, retracement. Yeah, this is one to simply stake and hold if you have it and you are good. So this is a very key level here. This is also where we bounce. You can see here, you can see the liquidity. This is the area of interest for buyers. And this is also where we bounce. And then we can do the same thing in the upwards area. So make it simple for yourself. Look at the areas where we have the most interest, the most resistance and support. And then you can see these liquidity areas. So here you have your top range, your top liquidity, your bottom, and then you also have a mid range. It's very easy to find. We know we have a mid range, and you can see it here. You can see it already that there's a lot of interest in this area. So this is also where we're at now. It went from the low range to the mid range, and then it's very normal to have some retracement here. IOTA, yeah, it's been very disappointing. I still hold this one actually, but yeah, as you can see, we're in 2019. We're even higher. It's very old altcoin, but nonetheless, it's very interesting to see that we're yeah, we retraced here to the top of this wedge, and now we're all the way down again. But yeah, good bounce here. Finally, a bounce for fetched. So this was one that had a very big flush, as you can see here. And this also happened at the same time as we broke below this very long upwards trend line. As you can see, this all the way back to yeah, below 1 cent. And then we hit it 3 times. And then the last time it was over. We wicked below. And as you can see here, we retraced almost all the way back twice. And those were times to sell. But yeah, this is one that I'm holding. I expect this to do some good numbers still. Yeah, there's the AI narrative is just going to grow, and this is one of the top ones. Sologenic, this could be a massive gem. We're seeing very interesting pattern here. We had this massive run last year, speculation in regarding to news. And if you can look at this, we retraced all the way down in this wick back to the lows. So imagine being able to buy back in here again with limit orders. So yeah, that's the importance of limit orders to be able to catch stuff like this. Almost nobody does it, but it's very important if you have cash to get some limit orders. Yeah, what do I see here? This is usually a pattern that we're going once we break. Expect another good wave because yeah, there's news coming out. They have a license for stock trading. A stock trading platform is going to come up. That's backed by Sologenics. So you want to be watching this. So this is one I'm holding, and but this is heavy resistance. So and this as well. So once we break above of 20 cents, it's upwards. Injective having a rough time. Um, silver actually exploding here. You can see this very long trend line, and yeah, we broke above, retested, and now it's just continuously going. There's a lot of trouble in the world, and the silver price displays it. People want to get out of cash. They want to get into safety. There's also a lot of tracking of yeah, tracking of your assets. So people want to get into silver. It's been undervalued for a long time. I don't have the long-term chart here in front of me, but there's actually a 30-year cup and handle that broke out. I think last year. So that's why it's been so explosive. You look at it from a technical perspective. So yeah, let's go over some majors and then we're going to finish it. So major altcoins. We have Solana here. We have this downward trend line, and then we have the breakout. A very long downwards trend line. We can see 250, yeah, basically half 240, and then we're halved. And this is very important area, liquidity area. As you can see, this red line. I can put another one below it, so we have a box, and this is where we bounce again. So you can see very key level here. If we all go all the way back 2024, we've been trading here for a very long time, and here's where we had the nice bounce, which was about time. I'm hyperliquid, holding one of the stronger ones. That's a lot of to do with the buybacks from the revenues. So yeah, it's a very strong coin, and it outperformed most of the other altcoins. Algorand, one that I'm still holding, and you can see here again, I did this liquidity support box, and you can see it's yeah, an area that's been trading a lot of times in it. And if you look at it from the very high low time frame, this is a massive falling wedge. But yeah, we did not break above it here yet. We had a retracement, and the real action for Algorand starts when we break out here. So this is a key level to watch, to break out on the high time frame, because here this goes all the way back to 2021, here 2019 even for the bottom part. So yeah, this is the high time frame for Algorand. Chain, yeah, does not look that great. As you can see, we broke below here, and now this box is heavy resistance. So for now, until we break this, yeah, I would actually get in. Or yeah, it's not really my type of coin, but yeah, this is quite some resistance still. Okay, let's go to some ISO pairs for the last few ones. Of course, we saw XRP going at it hard, and now also quite a retracement again. Yeah, it's very interesting to see that for the big caps, XRP was leading the rally here. And yeah, this was also an important level once we got this breakout here. As you can see, very long downtrend, and XRP has been acting explosively. So the flush was also very high, but as you can see, there's quite some interest in XRP. We have now, of course, the ETF, multiple ETFs, and this is yeah, Wall Street at play. I expect a lot of good things to come for XRP. So keep an eye. They've been leading the charge here, and as you can see, we pull down this trend line. It's actually where we're retracing here. So this is quite some heavy resistance. So yeah, if you're a trader, very important to have all these lines ready on your chart, so you know where to act and not do it afterwards. It's very interesting how accurate sometimes your lines can be if you know where to place them, and you see how the market plays out. It's very interesting. This is one that I'm watching personally, very good for the high time frames, XRP versus Bitcoin. And yeah, there's not too much special here. It's actually, oh, this is quite interesting. During this flush, it retraced all the way back down here versus Bitcoin, which is yeah, very interesting. Imagine having a rotation here. Imagine selling your XRP here and getting almost triple your XRP back. This is crazy, but this is yeah, the reality of crypto. Usually these order blocks get taken out after a while. So these order blocks, this is then this important order block. They get taken out during a flush. So imagine having limit orders on areas like this. This is very key level. I just see this now that yeah, we went all the way back here. So then we see this trend line, and we're still above this. So we're above, yeah, key area, and we'll have to see how this plays out. XLM, very interesting. We see the same thing here. It also acted quite explosively last time. So don't forget XLM. During the bear market, it was one of the most boring coins, if you can see here. For 2 years, it's been just hovering all the way down here. But yeah, look at these candles. Downward wedge, upward outbreak again, downward wedge, upward outbreak again. Then we have XTC. We have a massive falling wedge here. And yeah, XTC looks very good. There's also multiple XTC charts. We have XTC versus Bitcoin versus XRP. But yeah, just has been one of the stronger ones when we go down. And when we go up, it's usually a bit lagging. So it's going a bit against the market, which is quite interesting. So people see it as a safe asset once the market dumps. People see it as yeah, they get into other risky assets when the market starts to pump. Also a bit because there's not much leverage, I think. So that has to do with it as well. But I went over this in another video. You can see the XTC uh, first XRP chart, where I think this is actually going to reverse at some point. We have some very important areas that line up for XTC, where I think XTC is going to be outperforming XRP. All right, that's it for this video. I think I've been through most of the altcoins, been to all the total caps. So you have been able to see yeah, my perspective on the higher time frame. And yeah, I think we're going a lot higher in 2026. So both for technical reasons, as I showed you in this video, especially the altcoins versus bitcoins. That's a very interesting chart. As I showed you, we're in a downtrend for 4 years now. So I expect that to reverse. And then for other reasons mentioned in my other videos, where I explain how we've been in a downtrend, or how I've explained other reasons why we're expecting to go up, liquidity reasons, business cycle, but that's all another video. So I can link it below. All right, so that's it for the live stream. Next one is going to be a regular video again, either yeah, a review or another type of video. But I'm fully back online again. So yeah, drop your comments. Let me know if you have questions. I will answer those as well, always in the comments. Or if you have suggestions, do that as well. And yeah, would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel